Because tomato seeds are coated with the pulp of the tomato and tomato juice, a different method has to be used for saving tomato seeds. In order to do it, we have to allow the pulp to ferment so that it can be washed off of the seeds. No amount of scrubbing will get it off. So the best way is to put the seeds into a bowl or jar, and then add a little water so that there's enough to cover the seeds, and then cover it with plastic wrap, saran wrap or something similar. Then, because air exchange, there has to be air exchange to for the fermentation process to work correctly. You need to poke holes, several holes in the saran wrap. And then it needs to be stored in a warm place for 2 to 4 days. The warmer the place that it's stored, the better. Maybe on top of your refrigerator, on top of the clothes dryer. One thing to keep in mind is as it starts to ferment, it will smell bad. So, for example, I like to put it in the laundry room on top of the water heater, um, which is also close to the furnace unit. So the heat from there will help keep it nice and warm in there. So we're going to put it on top of the water heater now, and we'll check back at it tomorrow. Typically it takes 2 to 4 days for the fermentation process. The tomato seeds have been soaking for 2 days now. You can see the mold growing on top. That's actually what we're looking for. They're not quite ready yet. We're going to give them about another day and then check again. There'll probably be about 2 more days before they'll be ready. So we'll check back again tomorrow. Okay, it's been 4 days on our tomato seeds now. As you can see, the mold isn't progressing very fast. What we're going to have to do is, for one, it's not warm enough. It's cold weather. Normally you'd be doing this in August or so when you're harvesting your tomatoes. So we're going to add a pinch of sugar to it, and the mold spores will actually feed on the sugars and make the mold work a little faster. And we're going to put it into a warmer spot as well, and we'll check it again in a couple of days. Our tomato seeds have been soaking for actually a little over a week now. We kind of lost track of things during Christmas, but they are now ready to be taken from the bowl and stored or dried. So first thing we need to do is remove as much of the mold on top as possible. Okay, now we're ready for the next step. Okay, now we're going to wipe as much of the mold off of the sides of the bowl as possible. And now we're going to strain the seeds. And put them in some clean water. Kind of swish it around a little to try to clean the seeds a little more. And we're going to strain them again. Now the next part will be to spread the seeds over newspaper and let them sit to dry. Depending on the humidity of the room, there are a lot of factors that are going to make it vary, but about a week would in most cases will be enough. You can speed that up by having a fan blow over them or something if you need the space freed. At that point, after they've sat for a week, it's a simpler process, so I'm not going to demonstrate it. You will take the seeds from the newspaper, put them into a Ziploc bag, and put the bag in the refrigerator for about 2 days. If any water has transpired from the seeds and then started to build up on the sides of the bag, then they are not dry enough, and they should be dried. Take them back out, dry them for 2 more days, and then try it again. If after 2 days the seed there isn't any moisture build up on the Ziploc bag, at that point you can store the seeds in the way that I discussed in the previous video about storing seeds. Thanks for watching, and any questions feel free to ask.